And we are back again, folks. Finally ready to start this matchup here between Luminosity and compLexity and see which team will get to forge forward to take on Cloud9 a little bit later on today, and which team, unfortunately, will have their journey cut a little bit short. Once again, it's the DreamHack ASTRO Open live from Montreal. And our first map here, for those that are just joining us, is going to be Inferno. Should be a barn burner. I think it's going to be a close one. As I mentioned previously, Luminosity had a rough going. I think it's the best way to summarize it against their big brother Immortals on this map. compLexity and Luminosity both play this map a fair bit online, so it's good to get some land practice in on this and jump into this one. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Luminosity and compLexity for DreamHack ASTRO Open. This BO3 determines who goes home and who moves on. All right, and we'll be jumping into it, folks, so let's take a look and see how exactly things are going to pan out here now for this new compLexity. Jumping into it, of course, they'll be starting off on the T side. Luminosity is going to be going on to the CT side, and we do want to remind you, folks, once again, that you can catch all of the action, not only here on Twitch, but also over on sliver.tv, where you can win prizes for watching, too. Be sure to go ahead and check it out. Really aggressive peek from Showtime towards mid. He is just going to safely fall back to Arches. And you see Cello, he wants to get aggressive down Banana. He's contemplating it. While compLexity are just going to play it very safe. Very alt-mid oriented right now as they're slowly working up towards the T-apps as well, looking towards A-apps. As they will slowly shift walk this out. Android will be the first point of contact towards A-apps. And Luminosity have a good read on the situation. They have a player pushed down deep Bananas, PK on Cello. Look for PKL, maybe even Cello to commit pushing up mid if they do want to go for a quick rotation. As Slemmy is going to poke and prod towards mid, so not much action, just slowly but surely map control gain from compLexity. Yeah, just kind of inching forward onto the east west side here pretty quickly, and now Nekis is going to take first contact around Rap side. He's looking for that headshot. So far, has been unsuccessful, however. Has not been able to find it himself. They cross once again, and they sneak past him for now the third time. Nekis, unfortunately, just not able to impact here. Now they push up to the site. Great spin around from Showtime, but it's not going to mean much just yet, as compLexity is still picking up the majority of these kills, and now with the elimination of Cello, it's all on PKL to hold on to 1v3. Gets the first kill, looking for some more headshots. There's the second one now. Now it's just him versus Slemmy's looking for that final ball, but Slemmy wins it out at the final moments and controls the pistol for compLexity. Definitely scary moments. I mentioned PKL and Cello push down Banana, so they'll have that quick rotation up mid. compLexity caught off guard by that, and it came down to the 1v2, very close, and then the final 1v1, Slemmy just holds on. No bomb plant for compLexity, so it definitely was a close bout there, as compLexity now will buy up the SMGs, the 1 AK on Yaster. He'll be following those SMGs in a battle, while Luminosity will get the scout out on Showtime. I know he's deadly with it, and the pistol's looking to clean up the tags from the scout, if any can be found, and it looks like it is just the AK dropped already, as Yell will deal a decent amount of damage towards Peter, as Yell's going to continue this push. Peter is going to be able to find that trade onto Yell, however, so bring things back down into a 4v4. Showtime continues to look for a couple frags himself, and Cello nicely found Dinks one player. They have the deep smoke in here, so he's going to have the ability to push forward, get aggressive. It's just a little bit too far out, however, so even with that smoke in the way, Peter's there once again for the trade. Now Slemmy hops his way around the Rap side here, and Android's going to dive back in. He's missed the player over by the hay barrels, though, so PKL sneaks one off, but Peter again picking up quite a few trades here. Already a 3K on this round. He's brought it back down to a 2v2. Bomb will go down. Showtime's 1 HP as he works up towards Porch. Now Peter did pick up that 8K on the 3K as Slemmy is sitting in pit. Will spot out the scout. Just going to molly up towards Straw. As Peter is just going to stand on Ninja Box. Catches that player coming through the smoke. Down to 3 HP himself. But Showtime on 1, this would be a hell of a play, and he is just going to save that scout. See if he can't find at least one frag like he did previously in this round going into the next. Well, Showtime looks like he should be relatively safe here, so he's going to save that scout unless he just inches a little bit too close to the bomb, but I think he's all right where he is. compLexity, in the meantime, will hold on, but they'll just barely be able to take control of this second round. Definitely a lot messier than maybe expected, but Peter did a great job of trading out all those kills that LG were able to sneak in there and make sure that his team still came in on top at the end of the day. We'll see the rebuy in some SMGs. I'm a big fan of not buying utility, or at least not a lot of utility, behind these SMGs. Because a lot of the time, if you're running in first, especially against a buy like this from Luminosity, they have no utility to stop you. You can just hold W and run in. compLexity have a good idea that that's the case, the exact case right now too. So using utility is just going to deny any kind of quick plays from Luminosity if they grouped up, decided to push down something. But
But you could save the cash in the long run, but for now, compLexity is just going to gain some upper banana control. We could see them just hold for now, as Showtime is still looming with a scout. And there's one player from Luminosity over towards Arches, that's PKL, and they really don't have much to work with. So as soon as PKL spots some players, I think the round's almost over once compLexity realize how vacant the A site really is.
compLexity, they're going to be sneaking up towards A here now. The only ones that'll be sitting in their way, at least initially, to stop some of this, is going to be PKL around the rap side, as you were mentioning before, but ultimately he's just going to get smoked out of his position, forced away from it, and we will indeed see compLexity take full control of that site. And there's pretty much not a whole lot that Luminosity can do now. Well, they've been restricted out. They may be able to kind of take a bit of a fight here, but ultimately compLexity is probably going to win it just by the gunpowder that they have.
Yeah, Luminosity don't want to feed these SMGs too much, though. Surpriser continue to push forward. Showtime Scout finds two out of nowhere. Showtime lighting it up, almost gets the third, but Slemmy's too quick, and Slemmy finds his final three. So he did make some cash with that UMP, is even able to find that lone AK they bought, as Peter only had a P250, the rest had SMGs. So good damage dealt there from Showtime in the final few seconds. And you take a look at Showtime's shots, just dirty scout shots, and Slemdog cleaning up the last three. So the buy will come in. Android will stick with the MAC-10. Meanwhile, Luminosity will be M4s across the board. One molly to hold off compLexity, as the op will come out in Peter. We mentioned him being this force and trying to find the opening picks and open the map for Luminosity. But consistency has become a problem. So we'll see what today's going to bring for him.
compLexity getting ready now. They're going to move in early on here, as you can see. Yaster and some of the others getting ready to move in and take control of the apartments. Showtime will be waiting over here by the exit to the long haul, so he is going to get ready to take a bit of a duel himself. Nade is well ready to get tossed down there, but the bounce doesn't go the way he wanted it to. Won't end up dealing any damage at all to the members of compLexity. And now as that smoke does fade away, Ye leads the charge, moving in and lining up the first bit of control from compLexity. Now the rest of the smoke start to go in. And they'll be completely ready now to start this execute over towards the site.
Showtime on default, about to have his hands full. He swings with his teammate in a 1-for-1 right off the get-go. There's someone in first pit, but Showtime deals with it. He's even able to fall back with 15 bullets, as he's going to continue to just single-handedly lock this down. Has three, they line up for him. He can't find the fourth. He'll finally be put down as compLexity. We'll even this up at 2 members apiece. And Peter will plant this bomb. Def going to be holding towards A-Apps, while Peter's tasked to hold the smoke, but there's still ports you have to worry about.
Take the shot.
He wants to. It's a cheeky boost, isn't it?
He can't see the player on top, though. Peter can't. So there's nothing to see just yet. Oh, I think he was just spotting him as that smoke was starting to fade away there. So Cello strikes at just the right moment. Now it's left alone to Def. Def being so sneaky right now. And just like a shark, he dives in, gets that first kill out of the water. Finds Nekaz. One more remains. It's going to be Cello sitting on the backside. Cello trying to hide from Def now, but he can't get away from it. As he tries to push forward, he'll trade the kill, but he does not have anywhere near enough time to defuse that bomb. The round's going to compLexity, and they're going to win the first gun round up 4-0.
I wonder how far Cello could have made it. He had about 4 seconds left. If he kept running into Boiler with 30 HP, I'm not sure if he would have lived. It's an interesting idea to think about, though, as Showtime does a great job of holding on to the site. It's just his teammates couldn't find any frags, and they didn't really do much to support him. He definitely could have had more, but his teammates rotated and just died during the fights towards site. So 4-0 for compLexity. Luminosity will be on the Deagle Brigade. Meanwhile, Peter's out on the MAC-10, same with Def. And we'll see what compLexity settle into. I imagine it's going to be a bit safer, knowing after you win first rifle round, Luminosity and whoever your opponent may be isn't going to have a lot on the board to work with.
Got to watch for those Deagles, though. He's got quite a few of them on the board there for Luminosity. The entire team buying them up, in fact. And Cello looking for one shot of his own, just not being too successful at this point. Really, they've only tagged a couple of these guys, but there you go, getting one guy out into the open and double peeking it. Slemmy will trade, taking down Yell right after that one, but PKL also into the fight. He's able to find Slemmy. Knows there's more on the way, and there's another pickup for him. Down goes Peter. Now it's advantage to Luminosity, and it's going to continue to grow as PKL gets another kill. Def's left alone now. He's got to pull off a 1v3.
That's a 4K from PKL. And PKL is going to hold the fallback from mid.
It's a player right behind him, though.
Yeah, Cello's holding that smoke. Def has to fight in front of it. The bomb is down in the corner. One in the library. One towards mid and one towards Arches. Def is going to use the remainder of his utility. And he has to pick an avenue of escape. It is going to be towards CT. Checks his corners. Good on Def. We'll find one. There is still a player waiting for him to exit towards Library. But Def's just going to play the time game here.
Def continues to sneak forward, trying to see if he can outwit these now 2 remaining players from Luminosity. And PKL looks to complete this ace as he's going to take the duel right here. And no, it'll be denied by Def. Now is when things get very interesting as we go down to a 1v1. It's not looking like Nekus is going to take the immediate peek. So Def will be free to go for the plant here. And now the final battle, but Def will win it out in the 1v3 and just barely hold on to control of that lead for compLexity.
The Brit shows up when they need him. A critical 1v3 from Def. And it's crazy to me that he takes that fight, that peek. He has little to no info when he plants the bomb, so he decides to swing on lane. It's the right choice, as it was just a one-man wrecking crew of PKL. The 4 deags, 3 headshots. Nail-bitingly close. His compLexity, though, will stay flawless. As Yell will get the op-out in response. We'll see where he's going to be headed. Currently is holding top banana, whereas all that utility is going to be used right off the rip. As Yell is just going to safely fall back to CT and just hold this angle.
compLexity putting a lot more pressure towards Banana. This is way more than we've seen in any of the previous rounds so far, so immediately just throwing 2-3 nades up there, I believe, right at the start, including an HE, a Molly, and I think 1 or 2 flashbangs as well. But after that, they pretty much just fall back from it completely, and they've gone back to just the default setup now, needing 1 player over towards the half-wall and old car position, and everyone else pushing up towards the mid-choke.
Giving some time for Peter to try to find a pick towards Porch. Now back to that smoke, they are going to swing, so Def will lead the charge here. They're going to be holding under towards Porch, giving some more time for Peter to try to find a frag. As compLexity gain mid control. And we'll see how the CTs answer this. Sometimes CTs will aggress and try to retake that mid control with utility of their own. This time, they catch Shello out as he goes into a smoke but reappears. Yell trying to hold on the arch cross, but can't land a single shot as Showtime. It does have help from Sight, as they are going to both line one up. Yell finally finds a frag, as it's PKL, but Showtime will get denied, as PKL still alive in Sight. A little miscalculation from compLexity, but they will find him in the end, as it leaves just Yell and Nekus alone.
Nicely done by Peter there as well. Knocking out the one linchpin on the side that might have been able to turn things around. And as they move in, Def from the corner, he'll be able to strike. Yell trying to fire out at him from the wall, but not going to be happening here. Can't seem to find his mark, and eventually he knows he's been outwitted, so he's got to run away, or at least take a position a little bit further back. So at the very least, try to hold on to this top. Gets the one nice kill on DA, but that'll be it. Def trades him out seconds later. And compLexity secure yet another round.
The admin just fist pumped Peter.
Did he?
That was sweet.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. Pause comes out from Luminosity. Again, good time for it. I think you're down 6-0. It was kind of like we talked about with Gale Force and it was CLG earlier. They knew when to take pauses. They couldn't really do anything off the pause, but it's a good time for Luminosity to take a breather, take 30 seconds, talk things through. See the coach going in on them right now. This is going to be a half-buy situation, I imagine, with 3,800 average. They could invest in rifles here. Very, very unlikely. As you can see, Showtime is going to pick up his famous Scout, so we'll see pistols around that. As compLexity should have an easy time getting on 7, but with the way CS is right now, I never sleep on pistols.
Yeah, it seems overall here that it tends to be 6 or 7 rounds straight lost, where a team is going to take a pause, regardless of if there's anything really strategical to talk about. At the very least, they're going to take the pause just to take a breather amongst themselves, as clearly the team is not in the right mindset at that point. So Luminosity will be on the save here. Showtime, as you can see, doing a little bit of work there, with the Scout able to tag down on Peter. Still a lot more work to be done, of course.
Yeah, first out and first down. Yell from Sandbags. I was waiting for that Molly, but Ye swings before it gets thrown. Ultimately leads to his death. There's still a player alive in the corner. Def will put him down, but he takes significant damage, down to 55. So Luminosity have done a nice job of getting one frag and dealing some damage. And Showtime now will arrive to the party. A little uninvited and a little late. But it looks like Def and Peter are just going to hold this banana control that they have fought so heavily for, and even lost a life for it.
And now compLexity. Ooh, trades going out against them there. They're going to fall back. Showtime joining the fray here too, and he hits that nice headshot onto Def. It's even the numbers back out. We still aren't seeing any signs of PKL rotating from the A bomb site, though, and that's a good thing, because it looks like after losing that additional player, compLexity is going to fully bite on the rotate themselves and head over here towards the A bomb site. Showtime, as you can already see, moving through CT spawn now. He's going to be grouping up with these guys in a moment and trying to do a little bit more damage with that Scout, but compLexity taking it oh so slowly. They're going to take the pathway by the library here, seeing if they can block out Showtime. But Showtime still has the potential to do massive damage. He'll need a little bit of support from PKL. But there we go. There's another tag. Another player goes down low, and this time it's Android at 27 HP. PKL starts to move in and immediately gets 2 headshots with the Deagle. Android and Peter both going down. Slemmy just going to prioritize the plan at this point, worrying about the fight a little bit later. Gets the first kill, knows the second somewhere around library here, and is just going to nade the heck out of this site right now to try and buy him a little bit more space. That's also buying the guys from LG more space to push onto him, though. Finds that player on balcony, but cello is going to take him down. So finally, we have a round for Luminosity on the board after 6 straight from compLexity.
And it's who else but PKL again to find these critical frags. He's done it before, but they haven't been able to capitalize this time with the help of Showtime. Just loosening up the targets and making it easier for PKL. Granted, these are both headshots, ringers from first pit as he just poked his head up. It's Groundhog Day, and he's found 2 frags for it. As Yell will pick up the compLexity. Although they have been winning 6 straight rounds, they don't have too much cash. Luminosity have done a nice job of making it expensive, dropping the ops, dropping significant amount of rifles, making it just extremely hard for compLexity to keep a high T-side economy. And Luminosity now have a chance to start to pull this round back. A good game of tug-of-war.
Well, now we have compLexity just spreading into their default again here. I'm actually surprised with how quickly compLexity find themselves on an eco, too. They seemed like they were going to have a good amount of money build up, but these rounds were very, very close now as you look back at them and see the amount of players that are left alive on each of those rounds. It does appear as though compLexity's victories weren't as dominant as they might have first appeared. And after that, compLexity ends up, as we see here now, on this half bite, immediately after just 1 round lost.
Yeah, it's just Luminosity finding these frags. And as you said, making these rounds so close. compLexity would love a bomb plant right about now. They're getting a buy next round regardless, due to some of the members having around $4,500. You know, 2-round loss, 1,900, it's not much. They desperately would love this plant. Yell's going to get the molly out, and the spray from Nekka's back default is only able to hit himself 1 frag. As Yell's going to swing and shut down as Def. Great entries now for compLexity. They even pick up the op. Def has it. The old opper for compLexity now will wield the big green gun as Slemmy has an M4 of his own. And Luminosity, light on utility for this retake.
PKL, he's going to get aggressive here now, start to push back in. That could prove to be a mistake, and there's the trade that works its way out from Ye. Android picking one up too, but cello with a very well-placed nade. He gets the touchdown kill against Def, but still has a 1v2 to work against here. Finds himself in the open, but somehow still recovers for that kill against Ye. Now it's a 1v1. Android trying to clutch for Cole, but he's going to do it. The quick swing with the Deagle. compLexity will find swift revenge against Luminosity.
Can't run quick enough to grab the op back at quad, but what a round for compLexity. Just a simple B execution. It's amazing what 1 smoke will do. And Nekkas commits to that spray while back at quad, loses his head in the opera, can't find a frag. compLexity able to transition those post plants and the numbers in their favor to a round, as Luminosity will buy up what they can. It's an M4 and an op, the 2 deadliest weapons in their arsenal this one. As Yell is going to be posted down towards mid. Peter doesn't want to show face, not yet without a flash at least. As compLexity are going to use this utility wisely once more towards Banana.
cello up on top of this half-wall booster now. Smoke starts to fade away, and he gets the angle, so down's going to go Def. compLexity didn't seem to expect that at all, so a good first strike for the guys on Luminosity, but cello, he's got to be careful. This molly burning him out, and it slows him down too, so Ye is given the time to catch up. Claims that trade frag, bringing this down to a 4v4, and very slow rotates from LG. Only just now we're starting to see players move back over towards the B bomb site, but it's too late. compLexity's already taking control of the site with just the elimination of Nekkas and cello.
That bomb goes down. Yell is still alive towards Chapel now. I imagine if they don't find a frag shortly, it is just going to be a save. That op is worth a bit too much to just stay lingering around for too long. As Yell's going to take full advantage of that smoke and peace out with it, I imagine. Going to try to find one. He actually takes some shots, has to be careful. So he will get out of there. compLexity will get round number 8. Luminosity, though, the one little cherry on that round is saving these 2 UMPs, the AWP, and a little bit of utility, but compLexity is still looking sharp. Finally, they're picking up some rounds that aren't so close, and they're keeping some members alive. So we should see them start to build a T economy. Although they won the first 6, as we mentioned, they weren't able to build such a big economy.
Oh, there's compLexity. Again, taking back the control here and really putting Luminosity into a tight spot. As now they're going to call for their second timeout that they're allowed to have on this map. So 2 out of 4 being used here. As it does look like they are able to scavenge together a couple of weapons for this round, but besides that, besides the AWP and 2 UMPs that they'll have, nothing else is really going to be present for LG in this upcoming round.
Yeah, they're going in on this pause as well. They want to talk about where the AWP can go, and then they're going to discuss what we're buying here, actually. So they are going to come in around the 2 UMPs and AWP. It's a smart play. They get the 4 UMPs. Very dangerous from these close corners, especially on a map like Inferno. It opens you up to a lot of APS pressure you can apply. You can try to challenge towards mid if you want to get a deep smoke and push behind it. We could see an airstrike with these nades, perhaps a deep banana smoke, deep mid smoke, and a push. There's a lot of options for Luminosity on the cards, or just a simple hold with the AWP trying to float around and find these opening frags.
Well, Yaster's actually going to get pushed back. You can see he was trying to hold on to that position. He was a little bit careful of peeking back out into the molly, simply because of the fact that someone could have been peeking from old car spot, but makes the decision late, but he gets out, and Showtime just barely winning that duel against Android as well. Android whiffing big time, actually had the AK ready to go in there and spray down. Oh, and PKL with a great headshot. Unfortunately, the 2 kills are traded back almost instantly after we see PKL picking up his own frag. compLexity brings us back down into a 3v3, but Luminosity much quicker on the rotates this time. They are here, they're on the A-bomb site, and they're ready to fight it out.
We'll see how committed they want to be. They're going to slowly work into A-apps. I think they're just trying to find a couple frags, but Yaster just gets swung on. Jello somehow wins that. That may just be the pedal to the metal. As Slemmy gets a good time to molly, and that should be it. Nekis is going to fall off. But you see, Hell still wants to commit to this. It seems like sometimes some communication errors
Peter's
here.
Back here too.
And Peter with his pistol trying to hold on. Yell, no, Jello gets it. Very hectic for Luminosity, but they do commit. They do have the kit. And they will get it with just seconds to spare. It looked like that molly from Slemmy was going to be it. That's it. We can't run out. The bomb is taking down. Let's all run Boiler. And they still commit thanks to that pick from Yell. If Yell doesn't find Slemmy there, that's it. They won't commit to that. But a good play from Luminosity to find a frag and then just fully commit into it.
So a quick technical pause here as we're going to look to fix an issue for the guys on compLexity. But after that, we'll be able to jump back into the game. Definitely a huge loss for compLexity, though, given what you were saying there about how Luminosity, they were falling back. They were ready to give it up, but their Opper went back in for one last peek, and he was able to take down one player. I think they already knew where Peter was as well, so once they had brought it down to the 3v1 at that point, it was an easy job to lock it down. Peter was not able to hold on or even just delay it for those couple of extra seconds that were needed to push it down to that, less than 5-second timer that would have been needed for them to win the round. They were so close, and this really could have been the crushing point for compLexity, where they would have been able to push up to like 9, 10, 11 rounds in this half easily without even having to deal with much of a response from Luminosity. But now, well, now Luminosity might just find their own path back into this game. This is a very defining round for compLexity. They need to win this one if they want to hold on to the strong control they have now.
And a very expensive round from Luminosity. Right into this double op, right? We'll see how effective this is going to be. We've seen them try to do this before against Immortals. Just got shut down completely. We'll see. Yell is going to be the man to hold towards alt mid, so he's playing that angle that allows you to hold alt but not be visible from mid. All the while, the secondary op is back in the B's sight. Yellow's going to get forced off with that flash. compLexity playing a safe default across the map. They get the banana control nice and early. Don't have to use too much utility to get that. They'll leave Yaster there to hold that part of the map. As Slemmy and Def look like they prepare to go towards mid. As Luminosity know what's been conceded and will just fall back and turtle up into the site.
Def first through the gates of hell as they move through that mid-choke point. Not going to find any defenses set up for the Luminosity roster, however. They're all tucked away nice and safely within the A-bomb site. Most aggressive player they have is Yell. As you can see here now, swung out just outside of Library. He's going to get smoked away, though, so he's going to fall back and make sure that nobody tries to wrap around him over there up Arch side. And besides this, compLexity has opened up their pathway to the site. They're clear up until they get over there by... oh, and actually, how did Ye dies to a molly, apparently? How did that happen?
We'll have to check later. Yell gonna find one. Good frag from Android, a critical one, both 25 seconds. You're down to 2 players. Luminosity have rotated. As you can see, there's a player coming in from Library. As Android is gonna try to find an entry frag, he needs one more before they can feel comfortable playing the bomb. They haven't even cleared pit yet with 10 seconds. Showtime, he can find the final one. No, Android still wins that duel somehow. 8 seconds, has to plant the bomb. Gonna force them through the smoke because he will stick the plant. Yell should spot him. Will clean up Android and Luminosity. The double ops were expensive, but they hold on to both of them as they'll get round number 3.
He gets the plant at the very least there towards the end of that last spin alive for compLexity. So, well, they may not win the round. They still get a little bit of excess cash. I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's kind of, I mean,
with
they have a choice.
Line, I don't know.
5-round lead. It's really up to the IGL at this point. It's kind of dealer's choice here. Do they want to risk it and try to push the envelope here, or are they going to want to try to play it safe? But it looks like they take the safer option.
Just a couple P250s, the P250s across the board. Some armor buys up around it as well. I mean, for a $300 pistol, for moving and taking heads off, it's worth the investment, especially considering you know you can buy next round, regardless how this one plays out. We will see Def just slowly peeking mid. Yell's going to fall off. BKL will fall off in the back of that. Molly's Luminosity taking no chances across the map, not wanting to get overstep into these pistols, knowing how deadly they can be.
Yeah, compLexity is going to fall back after facing a little bit of resistance towards that mid choke point. Looks like they're going to go for just a banana push now over towards B. Standard setup from LG, so this would be the easier site to take considering it's only 2 players set up for it, but they have the op here. That double op setup, as we were mentioning before, is back into the play. That little boost they did there, actually, a spot over half full. Did it for just a moment. Able to see over top of it, so nicely done there. And now they'll get ready to push onto the site. They have limited utility, so 1 smoke probably going to be used for CT. And besides that, well, the CTs themselves have quite a bit of utility that they can use to stem the tide and wait this out for as long as possible. Flashes and smoke going back in. The first flash is actually great. Completely blinds Nekkis, and the smoke buys them a little bit of time. They're trying to route through and try to wrap around Church. They already took out Slemmy on the way back in, though. They're trying to see where the rest are coming, but I don't think they actually figured out exactly what they were doing. I don't think they realized that they were going to swing through Church. So look, they get site control, and it's evenly traded. They bring it down to a 3v3.
And Peter even gets the op thrown to him. They'll get the plant back Fountain. There's one dark, and Peter gets the op from Quad. He's able to find a frag. Is he going to swing into this?
Awkward, though.
Nearly just misses the shot as his teammate was kind of body blocking. But Android picks up the op and finds one, and it's all on Showtime. Yay and back dark. Showtime has no clue as Android will let his position known. As he is going to come down to time now, jiggles it out. Showtime commits, and Yaster gets it done. The birthday boy will close her out as compLexity get to 9. And you mentioned it, that wrap strat. Luminosity didn't really know what was happening. That front smoke and great flash, as you also mentioned, fully blinded Nekkis and back dark, and that allowed them to push into CT through Chapel, something you don't see too often. Normally they push CT and commit towards A, but that wrap onto B really caught those players off guard and closed the gap for the P250s.
Yeah, now it's put Luminosity in a pretty poor spot here. I mean, look at the buy that they forced into this one to a huge degree, but it's a mess on that CT side right there. They're going to have to hope that with this op and 2 M4s, they can do some massive damage, because if not, well, we're going right back into compLexity having control here.
Yellow's going to hold for the peak. Good opening shot into Slemmy. compLexity's not even going to try to find the refrag. He's going to smoke off CT. Def even gets light from that, so they've lined up for it perfectly. Yell takes those to the bank. As Yaster's going to line up a smoke for sight. It looks like compLexity are going to commit on the back of this. Yell's going to fall back to Chapel, but he actually is going to push into the site. He's very committed.
Now PKL waiting in Boiler is able to get himself 1 pickup there on Android. Quite a few of the members of compLexity still been injured, so this is a good recovery round from Luminosity. As we're just going back and forth again over these last 3 to 4 rounds now. Nobody's been able to hold consistent control. It looks like this one might be Luminosity's, unless we see a big upset here from Cole of these next few moments. EA is going to be the one to try and change that, at least here towards mid, but he gets called off. It looks like they are going to re-aggress into B, see if they can test their luck and be as successful as they were in the last round here.
Def is going to lead the charge. Very tagged, but he just outbeats Yell, whose reactions are a little slow. Nekkis, though, not so slow, playing back pillar as he finds the final 3. Luminosity. Individual plays is really what's defining them right now. Their team play could be a bit better, but it's really PKL, Nekkis, Yell, all stepping up individually in different rounds. Now, if they can coordinate this, they can start to string some, but look at this hold from Nekkis. Just gorgeous work from backside.
Nekkis did some really good work there too, and I guess it didn't get called by Cole, or they didn't realize that he was sitting on that back pole there, so he just completely surprised, just a big jack in the box against compLexity, as they had no clue what was getting thrown against them, and they get completely destroyed. Now, well, now that Luminosity's back in control, they're going to find themselves getting a lot more aggressive here. Yeah, with a direct peek in mid. Same thing as, I mean, Ye just wasn't expecting to find anyone out there. Peter with a good trade at least to bring him back down to a 4v4, but even he takes a lot of damage from that fight. Now ends up down to 12 HP.
Cello wants to commit to this fight. He knows a 1-for-1 right off the get-go is not enough. He wants to get aggressive, especially with that deep smoke. But he knows he has the ace up his sleeve with PKL. He's trying to throw this distraction, trying to keep compLexity honest and looking towards Banana as PKL will work his way down. Does he not check his left? Oh, that's so awkward. The jump sound cue from Slemmy allows PKL to get 2. Slemmy jumping is what made PKL turn around. Is it just Def and Android alone now? You hate to see it. But that's one way to open it up.
Yeah, a little bit awkward. But Yell waiting back over here. Unfortunately for Def, he peeks just before the smoke plumes, so it's going to give it away to the opponent's Zopper. Android left alone again here in a 1v3 situation. He will be given plenty of time to put the bomb down, and actually a decent amount of time just to set up for this post plan either. They won't rush right in to try and get the quick kill against them. They're going to try to push as a 3-man unit. The flash misses, actually blinds one of the CTs, does good damage, but immediately, as soon as the second player from Luminosity peeks out into the opening, it's the last man alive from Cole. Yell does close it out. And they get that 5th round on the board for Luminosity as we head into the 15th round of this first map.
And the buy from compLexity is going to be hurting. I mean, they didn't. It is round 15, so they're going to take a pause here. The first that we've seen from compLexity.
It's weird to do on the 15th round.
Yeah, it is a bit odd. They did get the bomb plant last round, so it's an extra $800. But still, with only 2-round loss plus the bomb plant, lose at 1,900 plus the 800. They don't have much to work with. I think it's just going to be a couple SMGs and some upgraded pistols. A Galil comes out, so it's a very scrappy buy for compLexity. And you're right, it is a bit odd to call it here, but the fact that they do have 4, I suppose might as well use one in this round to confirm that 10-5 half, which compLexity would be happy with. And it's interesting to me with NACS, on the European side of things, they prefer CT side on Inferno. It's weird to me that NA just do better on the T side. So that's why I love the dynamic when a European and North American team play together on Inferno. But right now, we can just see how more confident compLexity are on their T side. We'll see what their CT looks like, but I'm confident that compLexity need this 10. They secure the 10-5. But either way, I think they're content with how this one's gone so far.
Probably talking a little bit about how the next half is going to play out here as well, since they definitely made quite a few mistakes in the first half here, and they probably want to correct those before they jump into the second half, so that they can focus entirely just on the round-by-round plays there, and not have to worry about the kind of semantics in between, you know, these smaller mistakes that they're consistently making in quite a few of the rounds. But it looks like again they're getting ready to try and take Hall's control here. Peter and Slemmy both going to be taking the mid route, so very much an A play. There's no doubt about that. This is the first time we've seen a direct contact play from compLexity in a while, but Cello coming right back down through Banana does spot the hole in the defense setup here from compLexity, and there we go. They're getting ripped apart, but the trades are still there from compLexity. They're able to get onto the site at the very least. They open up an opportunity for them to go for a plant. Slemmy taking a huge risk going that far out into the open at that low of an HP. But now, as he's gone down, Def's left alone. Great peek and kill from Def to take down Yell with a headshot. And on a Galil too, but it's not going to last. Nekes will take him down, and right after he gets that kill, and we will see Luminosity claim a 6, so close game, ending out our first half.
Yeah, every player on both teams are playing extremely well. There's no one you can really point out to say who's bottom fragging. There's no one really you can say, oh, they need some work. Nekes has had his big moments. Yell has stepped up. PKL with his Deagle famously has just been going to town so far. And I'm excited to see how this one pans out as Peter's putting up numbers. Def is up there. Someone who said has normally, he's been on the team for quite a bit, but hasn't really impressed or had a good LAN performance. So I'm excited to see him start to put up numbers here. And it's big for compLexity. That's a big T half. As he jump over and swap sides momentarily. What are you looking for, Blue? What do you think Luminosity has to do? As we watch them play Immortals, and they struggled with the banana fights. They struggled with getting any kind of, like, they got apps control, but when it came to the executions, Immortals just were taking all these duels across the map. You think compLexity is going to do the same? What can Luminosity really do here?
I mean, one big key note that we saw from yesterday's match is that Luminosity tended to play a much more passive CT side overall. I think on the T side, though, the thing is I feel like after their match yesterday, they're actually going to be a little bit scared to play on this T side. Yeah. It's kind of going to depend on how compLexity opens things up. If compLexity opens up in the same kind of aggressive pattern that we saw Immortals doing yesterday, then I feel like they may be able to kind of scare Luminosity a bit, force them to play a lot more passively, and then kind of lock them into that same pattern that eventually caused Luminosity to lose the match yesterday. But if compLexity comes into this one and they're also going to be a lot timid, they're going to be kind of holding back to the sites, then that's when Luminosity is really going to kick into this one and get very aggressive, and some of those more aggressive players in general are really going to come out to shine, like Yell and like some of the others as well. Like PKL specifically is one that can really shine on T side if he's given the room to maneuver and there's not a lot of aggressive CT presence.
Let's go 1 to 10. How cute is Peter? You can be honest with me, Blue.
I'll give him a 7.
That's a fair rating.
Yeah.
I think Def's an automatic 10.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're not talking in-game skill here, though. We're talking looks. We're talking looks. So going into this pistol, I think we're going to see a lot of aggression towards Banana. Again, it's a hot point. Then again, with compLexity done some crazy things when they had to go on these ecos. They won the first 6 straight in a row and immediately went on pistols when they were on their T side. We've seen some crazy plays from them from the wrap towards Chapel and pushing into the B side, catching those players off guard. compLexity and PKL's Deagle has been a big talking point, getting that 4K, nearly the ace to win them that round. So this game's been action-packed, and I don't see that ending, honestly.
No, I don't see it ending either. The one thing that I am fearful for with compLexity here is the communication aspect of this one. I am a little bit scared that if we do see this goes back to the aggression thing, right? Because if compLexity is going to be out there more in trying to play aggressively towards like Banana and mid choke point, and they are able to get good intel about what Luminosity is doing strategically, then okay, this is not a worry for me at all. But if they do play passively back, like I said, Luminosity can tend to be a very aggressive team on T side, and we could see a lot of rounds where Luminosity just go in with full 5-man squads, take control of the site, and then lock out the other side completely from being able to do anything about a retake. We'll just see a huge sequence, like 4 or 5 rounds straight, where the other site has to end up saving. We've seen that many times before, but we are live into the pistol round here, and it's back and forth to start it off. Def trying to hide over here behind old car spot, but he's battling it back a little bit with that pickup, and now they're getting flanked back out. One remaining this PKL, and he's not going to be alive for long. Def shuts it down, and compLexity takes control of the pistol with a massive round for Def.
You talk about a man's looks, and he'll frag out in the next round as he gets a 4K down Banana. Great team play there as he gets full blind, but he knows there's a flank coming from his teammates as they push down mid. He also has 2 players there to support him as he just works around the barrels beautifully. compLexity first on double digits and first on the SMGs and FAMASs, while Luminosity will be in the force buy territory with CZs, the typical go. And no Deagle for PKL. I'm not saying I'm disappointed. I'm just a little surprised he doesn't grab that one. It's going to be Nekas with it, as Def is going to keep some pressure towards this smoke. Now, as Luminosity are listening for the reload queue, but it is a bait and switch with the Acer towards sandbags.
Let me see the legs of Yell there, so he took the shot. Maybe he took the shot a little bit too early, though.
Yep. As
he does have enough coverage to fall back, keeping himself alive. Luminosity, though, have moved in, taking control of, like, boiler area and the halls surrounding it. Besides that, haven't been able to take significant control of anything else. They're going to re-smoke. It's a bit of a passive smoke setup from compLexity there. As you can see, Nick is trying to wallbang through the half wall.
That's what bugs me. You can't shoot through that unless you have an op.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand the concept and the idea behind it. Maybe it's a mental thing.
I guess.
I didn't take psychology. Did you?
No. Well, did I?
Maybe.
College was like 3 years ago for me, and I'm trying to remember.
Damn. Aster, top flower pot. Showtime's going to rotate back to Banana as Luminosity slowly shuffle their way up, and the flower pot's in such a strong position, especially with the UMPs against these pistols. As Def will spot them out. He'll throw the molly. That will separate one player from Luminosity towards his team, and that's PKL. He's starting to burn in it. Tries to get out a little too late as Def will just put him out of his misery. But it looks like Luminosity are going to commit on the back of that burn kill.
Well, Yay, he's able to find one. Def with the second. It's a quick cleanup for the most part from compLexity. Another shot rolls out from Def as now he switches over to the USP. Cello will trade onto one, but it is a short-lived victory. We do see Yaster coming in to close out on it and putting compLexity up to 11. To answer your question, if I remember correctly, I think I took online psychology.
Okay.
So no, I didn't take psychology.
So you didn't?
Because it was an online class, so.
I feel that. That's what scares me. My sister's taking it, and that just worries me. Worries me a lot. I wake up every morning, I feel like I'm being analyzed. 11-6. Def will just pick up the SMG after falling with the UMP. He's going to go the MP9 route this time. As again, it's just going to be more aggression from compLexity. I want to get this round over with, similar to what Immortals did. Android stealing all the farm money, however, as he gets a 3K with the UMP. Yell gets run over, and a couple extra bullets. Never hurt nobody.
4 rounds remain here, and then we will be able to see compLexity push forward up to 16 rounds. If they're able to do that, of course, as Luminosity now has the guns in their hands. 5 AKs for this first gun round. No ops to be seen. And we'll have to see if that'll be enough for them to finally get back on the board here on T side.
No upgrade from compLexity, so look for a little more aggressive angles. Look for them to take some nice close-range duels. Android's just going to try to push down with the airstrikes from Banana and the flash over. They're going to commit to this. Android gets the first one. That gives, in the meantime, finds A towards Banana as Def challenges with an MP9. That's a daunting fight to take. The MP9 falls off heavily at range. As compLexity just, they know they're going to get a full M4 by next round, just trying to test the waters here with these SMGs. Luminosity with the AKs will stand tall. Showtime finds one more towards sight. as it is just Peter alone, and he is currently all the way on the opposite side of the map towards Banana. Mollied off to boot as well, as Cello is going to Foon and plant the bomb.
Light Foon.
Yeah.
That's that case there. Well, Peter's fallen back. He is going to call for the save here, obviously, since there's really no chance for him to do anything. It does look like Luminosity, to a certain degree, are going to move in to hunt him down. Not super aggressively themselves either. Trying to play this pretty safe, as they don't want to have any guns get dropped this early on. Peter can do some damage. There still might be an opportunity for complexity to buy back in the next round, an upset here. That's exactly why they're playing it as slow as they are to hunt him down. They're still going for it though, even though after he gets that second kill. So they're gonna be a little bit careful. Peter, nicely done. It's a little bit more damage this time on a PKL. Re-peeking out. Oh, I thought that was gonna be the end of it right there, but no, he somehow makes it work against Cello. Now he's down at 15 HP though. So assumably on the next peak, they should be able to get him, and there we go. Finally, PKL knocks him out.
That aggravates me, actually. After they lose the first player and they realize it's a UMP, I don't know. I don't see the reasoning behind committing to that and losing one more AK, especially considering you did just win first rifle round, and now you're going to throw away those AKs that you worked for, and you can see how much that actually hurts them. It sends a couple extra players down to the depths of $150, $800, $900, where they shouldn't be. They should have those 2 extra AKs. Instead, that forces out rebuys. compLexity, you get the op-out on Peter, and Luminosity with no cash to do so themselves, as it's going to be Def and Peter towards Banana, currently at the start.
Yeah, and Molly's down on the ground, but for whatever reason, Luminosity still decided to push past it anyway, so Nekes ends up just out in the open with no support available. PKL almost suffering from the same fate too. He gets dropped down to 3 HP and just barely escapes back by Crossroads there, so not a good start for Luminosity at all. And I mean, now, as compLexity know exactly what's happening. compLexity actually plays this really smart. They know for a fact that they really messed up their initial strat here by throwing those mollies down and getting that initial kill. So they've already cheated the extra player over from the B-bomb site here towards A to have a 4-man stack. So Luminosity's got to be careful. They don't want to play into this trap, but they really don't have a choice right now. This fighting for B is going to take a very long time. It looks like they do decide to take the risk on going back to the B play, though. Peter is going to be here to contest, and we'll see just how well he shows up. Takes the shots a little bit early, so it'll miss, and that will be the first victory for Luminosity as they quickly push up to the site. In fact, Peter's not even going to be able to get back to Evo quickly enough. Misses the first shot as well, or at least it's not a full kill. It's only a like. Completely misses the second shot, and that's where PKL will take him down.
That's one of the risks of running an anchor. Opper misses the shot. The hunt is really on. He's the rabbit running from the wolves towards the site there. As Slemmy coming up from the back will get just shut down from Showtime. As Cello doesn't even need to peek. It's all yell. As it looks like compLexity are just going to concede this, fall back, try to save these two M4s. Cello's going to do a little bit of hunting. He's the only one with HP, and he is successful in doing so. And it is just Android running for his life, as Luminosity will get 8. compLexity will be stuck at 12 for at least a few more rounds. And Showtime has done a nice job of sneaking up here. Again, look at their HP, and they're still hunting. They know that this rifle does mean quite a bit. And it's not going to pay off. Showtime's going to fall, so that's another rebuy that has to come out. And those are the things that kind of hinders you growing a T-side economy, is they're going to lose 2 rifles again for the hunt.
Yeah, so looking out here, seeing what compLexity is going to look like. They did have that one save. They kind of can force here if they want to, but it's not looking like they're going to go for it. Just a couple pistol upgrades that's rolling in, and that's going to be it for compLexity on this round. So Luminosity will have a pretty big advantage in this T set again, but we've already seen multiple eco upsets from compLexity throughout the course of this map. So I would not count this one as an absolute victory for LG just yet. I have to see how the opening couple of frags go.
Yeah, it's just going to be holding towards mid compLexity. A little more A pressure than normal. They put Slemmy alone with just a P250 towards Banana. The M4 is towards the A side of the map. Now Flash will send Android off the corner for now. He does want to peek this. Nice angle from Android as he wins that opening duel. Going to drop his smoke and reposition. Now Luminosity, how do they play with a man down against these pistols? It looks like they are content to just hold the angles, put a pause on everything. Showtime is going to slowly push up, but that's such a good angle for Def.
Showtime lurks back in. He's got to be a little bit careful, but no, Def will get the better of him. Claiming that first kill there. small victory for Cole. They've got to be careful about the follow-up, though, as the rest of the players from Luminosity are getting ready to move in through mid-choke. Cello, he's already traded out onto Peter back here. Yell finding another pickup this time against Android, and now we go back into an even fight, a 3v3. Cello, he's got to watch out, though, and oh, a quick reaction to find Def back there. Seemed for sure Def would have had him tricked, but no, not this time.
Bomb has been planted.
AK and an M4 for Slemmy and Yaster to work with, and Slemmy will get caught. Yell finds it is just Yaster, knowing they'll get a buy next round. He's going to commit to this, but it looks like he is just going to fall back. They will have that 3-round loss, $2,400. So Ye could have committed to this if he wanted to with the kit, but instead, it's worth saving the cash. Drop 2 teammate perhaps is a little low, so everyone can get utility, spread the wealth. And Luminosity are going to get a little closer and closer to getting the scoreline within a respectable margin. And they still have a lot of work to do, though.
Almost close the gap, however, now compLexity. We'll see off of that save what kind of buy they're going to be looking at. It should be, I mean, really strong. They can do double up here if they want to with the amount of money that they're working with. However, they choose not to do that for now. They are just going to stick with the singular op purchase. Let me take a look at the replays again. That was probably the highlight shot of the round for me, was Cello able to quickly swing on and pick up that kill as he leaped through the smoke. Took a bit of a risk, but it paid off. Made sure that compLexity didn't upset on their eco round. Now that they're fully bought back in, though, pressure's back onto Luminosity to make sure that they can complete this comeback and try to win this first map.
And the op's back out on Peter. Been playing well so far this game. We'll see if that's going to continue on and you can make a storyline out of it. Playing a very aggressive angle with an op, all things considered. If he gets double peeked there, he may get chased down. That hull is also spammable from back alt. But he does have support from that position.
Oh, and Ye actually spotting the player up on top of logs over there. Just not able to get the kill just yet. He's now pushing up with his rest of his teammates here. PKL sitting around the corner too. Molly goes onto the ground for Peter as he'll fall back. They'll stack together closer to the site itself. Right now, trying to pretty aggressively hold the pathway leading up to Porch, actually. Not focusing so much on the site currently. But the pressure from LG has been enough to force them back. However, lack of response from compLexity is now going to scare these players out of the halls. It does appear Luminosity is going to go for the full push onto the B bomb site.
PKL waiting and hoping someone will take the peek. This Cello's going to work out Boiler, kind of on a solo mission. As Ye and Co are going to work on the back of the smoke. Oh, he made a sound cue while jumping up. I think he's still going to commit to going up first oranges. But I think Showtime is aware of what's going on. That Molly, Showtime's going to commit through it, catches that player as he falls into a sandwich. Showtime's going to swing on this. Can he clean up Yaster? Finally he can. Def is still alive, and he won't find a single frag. And with 8 seconds, Peter cannot deny that plant. And look at Cello's positioning also as he pushes up and finds the head of Android. Can he find the second? He can't. Peter will finally find the frag. But Luminosity run the clock down. Showtime acting on the back of a sound cue and 2 clean entries as Peter's going to try to hold on to the op. Luminosity will get to double digits.
Nicely held by Peter there. At the very least keeps himself alive, but it's a small victory for what has otherwise become a huge leap from Luminosity to get back into this map now. We are going to be 12-10 in a couple of moments, and Peter, he's not safe just yet. There's still a few players looking for him around the same area that he's at, so he's got to be careful to make sure that he stays alive. It's very important to keep this gun in check. They have something to work with, but Neck is surprises, pushes up, completes the walk inside, and he has no clue that it's coming. So down will go that gun. And that will not leave the team with really enough cash to justify a force buy, in my opinion. They'll call for another pause. It'll be their second one of this map.
Gotta talk things through. I mean, it's a fair play, especially considering your economy's kind of been hammered so far. You win pistol, then you lose the next 4. These rounds have been very close. compLexity unable to save in the last couple as well, so nothing's really been going their way. Def, I just do want to point out, he's on 23 frags, playing extremely well. The desk did point this out as well. They wanted Slemmy to step up. Not quite there yet at 10 frags. But I said he needed to step up and put up some frags of his own. We'll see if that's going to transition soon. As this game slowly slips out of compLexity's hands from a confident and looking, interestingly, what's the word I'm looking for, Blue?
What's up?
I failed English twice, man.
I don't know the word you're looking for.
I don't know. You want a French cast?
I don't know.
I don't know French either.
No.
Showtime, thinking about swinging here. And they will be able to find the opening pick because compLexity just on pistols. They took the pause to discuss the next rifle round. As is just Slemmy in a 1v4, so no high hopes here. But it is certainly going to be Luminosity within 1 round, so the gap has closed.
Yeah, we'll be on compLexity with the gun round, though, so it's not going to be a free point to get up to 12-12. They'll still have to fight it out to a pretty big degree to get there. But they've been winning, I think, like 3 of the last 4 gun runs that we had here, so they're in pretty good shape so far. And now it's just about ending the round at this point, obviously, so not a whole lot going on right now.
Get it over
A little bit awkward as the bomb was left down at Crossroads. They had to take a moment to go and retrieve that, but they're going to be planning in a second. And Slemmy just hopes he can get at least 1 kill holding at logs. We'll see if Luminosity are able to find him in a moment.
Well, I know the op will be coming back out next round, so we have that looking forward to for compLexity. And Slemmy is just going to wait. He knows Luminosity loves to hunt. Even on rounds when they don't have to hunt, when they know they have SMGs or they know it's just a pistol, they love to find as much damage as possible. And Slemmy may be able to find this player Showtime. Catch him off guard mid. That is a MAC-10, which you probably won't use for long in the next round. It's all about the armor right now. If he takes no damage, he gets that $300 upgrade to head armor. As that Molly is going to force him out.
Run.
Takes no damage onto his armor, so that's what's important. But they are waiting for an exit here. Nekkis will put him down, so Slemmy kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there.
They burn him out of the hole and send him out the other side to his death. So nicely played there. Luminosity cleaning up shop. I mean, it's not a huge kill, but at least it's a little bit of extra money for them, and it trades back the frag that they took earlier. As you were saying, though, the buy comes back in for Cole, and we do see the op on Peter, including full utility for not just him, but the rest of the team, too. They are built up. They're ready to frag out, but this is going to be their last chance to do it while they still have the lead anyway. Luminosity, they're quickly coming back into this match. And with this gun round victory, they will indeed tie it up. Early start, just a default for the most part from Cole, as they're going to move in, take a little bit of Hall's control. Obviously, you can see the utility being tossed on a banana, too, but they don't have any presence in banana, so this is going to let compLexity get a bit more aggressive to take that back.
Yeah, we've seen them push down there before. That could be the case in this situation. It's been Def and Peter. They've been playing it lovely. We could see a deep smoke from Peter and Android pushing up. Instead, it is a fight towards mid, and Slemmy under porch is able to get 1 the second with the help of his teammate Yaster, who's going to be swinging with him. And Android's there to party. So compLexity with 3 towards mid will shut down Luminosity. The boiler and mid split just gets shredded from Arches under porch. And Android swinging with his teammate. Oh, Peter hits an absolute ringer. That is going to be 13-11. And compLexity, more importantly, keep 4 members alive. Because after your losing bonus stops and you only get that win bonus, you don't have a lot of cash. So important that they keep as many members alive as they can there. And then they can start to build up the bank, make some proper investments. As the Luminosity, though, had cash to still get out the big guns here.
Yeah, I mean, even now, right, compLexity doesn't have a whole lot of cash left over. They've got maybe like a few players with 1,000 or so, or a couple thousand or so, but
not much.
Maybe like 1 or 2 of them at most have enough for another full rebuy. The other 3 are still going to be completely broken if they drop this round without any saves. So compLexity's got to be a little bit careful here. And, well, never mind, they're not heeding that advice at all. Def's just out in the open. 1-for-1 trade to start, but Peter, despite getting tagged, takes the peek anyway. A big, big risk for him, but he's been hitting these shots throughout the course of this map. Cello, though, looks for revenge, but doesn't expect to find his second player underneath porch. So Slemmy trades it back once more, leaving this in a 3v2, but he's got to be careful. He's out in the open there. That's where Showtime counters it, trades it right back, and picks up 1 more against Yaster. And now it's all on Peter. He's alone. He just spotted that player, though, and he knows for a fact that he himself hasn't been seen just yet. So he's going to try to be sneaky about this. Won't lead to too much right now. You could see Yell running away pretty quickly, and Yell might have just heard the hops from Peter on the other side. Actually, no, I think he was too far away to hear it. So Peter once again sees his mark on the other end there, sees him going inside of the T-Apps. He's going to try to meet him outside here, see if he can catch him moving out of the porch, and there you go. There's the kill. It took a good like 20 to 30 seconds, but he gets that kill. And now he's brought it down to a 1v1, and there's no plant yet.
This has been the round of unfortunate timings. Every frag has had some weird timing attached, and yeah, Peter, I don't think he knows Showtime pushed into boiler, but he is aware enough to turn around. Showtime has picked up the bomb and is thinking about heading back to secondary site.
Peter knows it though, look.
Yeah.
He expects it. He's going to check
knows.
outside. The thing is though, is, okay, so he checks outside now. Which path does he take when he gets back to mid?
No, he can't hear the, he could hear the plant from here, so he's going to know it's B. Peter's just going to commit to A. Here's the plant bomb going down.
No, he can't. No, I don't think you can't hear the plant from that far away.
You can hear it ticking.
But he doesn't hear the beeping, so he's going to go the other way.
So Showtime is going to get in towards Chapel. Now Peter still has an op for this and a smoke. And keep an eye on Showtime's HP. It's going to become important once the pistol's out.
I think Peter knows he's low too, because you can see he's just running around with a pistol. So Peter's just going to try to win this with a pistol, I think, because I'm pretty sure he's aware of how low Showtime is. Yeah, definitely. There's no way he would go hopping onto the side like that if he wasn't already aware. But no! Showtime meets him back out. The one area he didn't check was mid, and that is where Showtime shows up and surprises, giving the round to Luminosity and putting them within just one of tying this up again.
Every frag that round had weird timing, from Android getting caught holding towards balcony with his back turned, to Slemmy falling back after getting the trade frag towards mid. Yaster gets caught trying to come back and challenge his player at site. It was just, every frag in that round had just good timing with it, and the player who got the frag. The player who died was extremely unfortunate, as compLexity, still with their own round advantage, just upgraded pistols, as that sends them down to $1,400, but due to them keeping those 4 players alive in the round they won, they will buy next round, I imagine. It is just going to be Yaster a little low on cash, so he'll probably go for SMG.
Def playing very aggressive right now. Could pay off, though. It's not often you see an aggressive peek coming outside of the window room anymore, so might actually surprise a few of these guys if they're not careful. Looks like they managed to circumvent it, though, for the time being, with Cello working his way back up. Let's make him down to a timing thing here, too. But besides him over there in window room, there's 0 presence on A right now. The entire stack is built up over here in the B-bomb site. So Luminosity's going to have to be careful so not to run into that. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
At least Android's got his back, so he'll find the head of PKL with a deagle.
Problem is another team's just going to flood into A. So the stack means nothing, though.
Yeah, I think they may have some knowledge to this as well. They're going to smoke off lane. They already have a player peeking out towards balcony. That's Showtime. And they have arch control. So they feel pretty confident walking into the A site. If Def gets that frag, it does change the dynamic a little bit. Peter does find the AK. So at least they have that weapon to save. But I imagine the rest of the pistols are going to go hunting.
Going for the plant. compLexity is all rotating through mid right now. They do pick up an AK on the way from that trade they got earlier, but it's an absolute mowdown from Showtime and Cello. Quickly cleaning up 3 out of 4 of the remaining players. Android's going to see what he can do with his free AK. He's got it, so he might as well use it. Yep. He's only going to use it for a short amount of time. Looks like he's falling back down to safe.
Wants to try to drop a couple more rifles if he can. And yeah, aim punch becomes an issue. He was right on the mark as well, but as soon as that body shot hits him, his crosshair goes way up to the sky. So a tied game. It's getting close here. The op will get thrown over to Peter. As I mentioned, there should be an SMG on Yaster. We'll see what the buy is going to look like. It's starting to shape up more and more as Luminosity are not worried. The economy still hasn't had a chance to build up themselves, but they do have the most important rifle out on Yell, the op. As it is a mixed buy for compLexity. They get the 1 SMG, the 3 M4s. Decent amount of utility, but look for Def to be a little more aggressive here, same with Peter. As Peter's so aggressive, he goes down to 21 thanks to that molly from Luminosity. He wanted to find the opening pick, but all he finds is charred Yeezys.
Now a little smoke. He's going to roll back out a little bit deep, and he had an opportunity to pick up a trade frag there. He knows they're going to repeat back in, and that's where he'll strike. He'll find PKL, take him out of the round. Give his team a slight advantage for the time being.
Showtime can be sneaky here. It does a nice job of getting app control relatively for free and not using too much utility or making too much noise. compLexity do know this is a possibility. Showtime will throw that smoke. If he wanted to, he could lurk out through it. It's very dangerous, but it looks like Android is just going to fall to the safety of first pit, as they are going to shuffle the bomb back towards Banana, where they've had control since the opening duels with Peter. As Cello's going to get ready to go around the corner with his teammate Nekas. Good timed smoke from Yell. Or from Yell. From Yaster. As Def is going to hold from Coffins. So compLexity do have a good read on the situation with 35 seconds, but they're ultimately out of utility to slow down Luminosity.
And as the push rolls out from LG, they're going to be swinging up to the site. Def didn't realize just how close Nekas was to him, though, so now it's up to Ye to trade out quite a bit of this. A second smoke is required because it did leave a hole in the CT smoke, and that's what allowed Ye to get that second kill. Peter trying to fire through here as well, but Luminosity, they've taken control. compLexity got to put on the brakes so they can group up and get ready for this retake here, as any further action would risk giving away their positions and allow for players like Showtime now, who do have a slight spot over the smoke to try and see through the smoke. and take them down. They're at the gates now. They're getting ready to push back in. Just waiting for these last couple of smokes to fade away, and they can safely start to move back in, but they're not going to leave themselves with a whole lot of time, and Showtime can just completely destroy them right here. Yell, Showtime, Showtime again, and finally Yell shut down the hit, and Luminosity not only complete the tie, but they're going to take the lead. 2 more, and they've got map number 1 under their control.
Not sure through the flash, but it was an amazing flash. Just as the smoke started to fade from inside, it fully blinded both players coming in from CT and one coming in from Coffins. It was a lovely flash, allowed Yell, Showtime and Yell both to swing, as a tactical call is going to come in from compLexity, talk things through. It's going to have to be a round where it's just P250s, maybe a flash. And that's going to put the, I guess what they're talking about here is, do we buy here or do we concede 15? It is map 1. I wonder what they're talking about here, because they either commit on pistols or they save for next.
Buying here would have been a mistake in my opinion. It wouldn't have been the greatest buy, and they haven't had the greatest track record for upsetting here on the CT side. They had a couple wins on T side, but
just the P250s. They will get a good buy next round with a 4-round loss. It's a 2900. They have that to look forward to for now. It is just going to be Slemmy with the utility. He typically will do this over buying upgraded pistols due to the nice support IGL he is.
Well, we'll see if compLexity can at the very least do a little bit of damage now with these P250s, but that is pretty much it. That's all they bring to the table this time. They wanted to get aggressive down Banana. Unfortunately, that Molly stopped that, and now they're stuck playing passively. They're at the very edge of Banana towards old car spot. Only 1 on that A site too, so that's going to be problematic as well. Nekas, though, regardless, he gets scared off by the smoke. The rest of the team try to push back down. I'm pretty sure Luminosity knows what's happening here. And as they eliminate the 1 sole defender on the A-bomb site, they've got control. They're going to be able to get their plant. Now it's just a matter of mopping up the other 4 players.
And Nekas are just going to be tasked to hold the smoke. We'll see compLexity start to push down now. As soon as that bomb goes down, the first one comes in. Android wins somehow. $300 pistol in the right hands can deal significant damage. Yay. He's going to fall himself, as it is just a firing range right now for Yell. And Slemmy and Android would love to try to find that rifle, but Yell's just all over it.
Yell having a little bit of trouble with the off there.
It's holding him off, at least.
Come on, this is shooting practice now. You've got the round. You're just taking these guys out. They're even giving you the time to prepare for this. PKL as well, you can see just shooting forever over there. Finally, they kill Android. And then the follow-up on Slemmy comes swiftly afterwards. 15-13, compLexity now having to play for the tie so they can take this into overtime. And in comes their last big investment. It'll be 1 op on Peter, 4 rifles besides that.
And no matter what, Luminosity will get a decent buy in the next round as well if this does go the distance. It's around 30. So again, Slemmy will be the man to get utility, bite the bullet, get the kit, get the utility for the squad. And it's just going to be aggression from Showtime right off the get-go, right towards mid. Android did just get in Boiler. They spot where that smoke comes from, and they're going to swing on it. Android, how ready is he going to be? Shut down Cello. One of the new ads is going to open up the A site as Peter will let his presence known towards A apps with that smoke. He does have an op, and this is close quarters. It's not looking too good for Peter. Showtime's going to continue to push forward. He hasn't stopped moving since they pushed into the A site. And there's Peter going down. Luminosity may just pull the rug from underneath compLexity.
Nicely done by Showtime here. Might have just secured them the first map. Still a few crucial players to eliminate, though. It's both. Oh, and there you go. What an op shot to end it on. Showtime shuts it down. Takes down Def, who was the frag leader for compLexity leading up to that point. And now, once again, we will see Luminosity taking control of Inferno here, taking control over map number 1. They will go up 1-0 in this series, and they'll be just 1 away from being able to push themselves into a matchup against Cloud9 for a spot in the semifinals, and also eliminate compLexity from this tournament.
I don't know what it is about T sides with that NCS and Inferno, but they just prefer the T sides. Something about the flexibility with it, the fights towards Banana. Both teams had great T sides, from being not dying and trading effectively towards Banana to just gaining this mid-control presence. We saw compLexity go for it countless times where they just walk, push towards mid, throw a smoke, and then if they got the opening pick towards A, either slow things down or just completely bulldoze the A site. Both teams had their chance with pistols. Ultimately, compLexity on their T side were able to pick up a couple rounds with pistols maybe they didn't deserve. If they're able to do that on the CT side, that game probably would have went compLexity's way if they win 1 eco there. Instead, they get reset. They have issues building the economy. And even when they won the first 6 rounds on their T side, just the damage Luminosity was able to give with their firepower forced them on an eco right away on their first loss. So it was just well played from Luminosity. compLexity narrowly getting that one, but the rug was pulled.
Well, we do indeed see Luminosity pulling ahead. We'll get to see if they'll be able to take quick control in the second map right after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, stick with us, and we'll be right back.